Okay, that was a bit weird. Yeah, I went to start again and I had to put in new stuff, and then it just said it was going to do it in 6 hours. So I don't know what's going on there. Alright, anyway, we're back on. I'm trying not to make mistakes this time. Just getting used to this now. Don't do it that often. If I was gaming, you just go ahead with it, but it's different for this. Anyway, so let's just actually open up Lightroom so we're not going to make a mess of this again. So I'm just basically importing and editing stuff that I shot today. Assuming the card is still available to us, that it hasn't ejected. It has ejected, so I'm just going to plug it back in again. So I was baking bread, and then I went out to a place in Clare. So that's them. And I'm going to just set two new photos, so that way the stuff that's already on this card from before is there, because I haven't wiped the card, so it's all kind of bread from during the week and stuff like that. So yeah. And I'm not going to select lots of stuff anyway. I'm actually going to click uncheck all for now, and then I'm just going to bring in some of the bread from today, because I'm doing a lot of baking at the moment with the whole COVID thing. I went out with my mate Andreas, and by went out with him I mean that we met up in Ballyvaughan, about 2 cars away from each other, and then we drove to the location and got out of the car separately and walked to the location separately. So I mean, we were chatting distance away. So I'm going to import these images here now. So just in copy mode here, I've got don't import suspected duplicate on. That's why those ones are grey. I'm not going to add to collection. I'm just sticking in my name here because there's 2 different shoots in there, and I just don't want the names to get messed up. So there may as well be something like that. I did create a new metadata file when I was trying to do this earlier, but then I just did it, and all you could see was my face, so it was no good. Again, just getting used to streaming. So it's going in destination. It goes to this photo folder. Everything goes into that folder there anyway, generally speaking. So I'm just going to click import, and that will start everything. Not even going to bother with keywords because there's 2 separate things there, so they can be done afterwards. I could even split these into separate folders if I wanted as well, which we may do just to show that being done. Hope you guys are all right. Guys and dolls. Although for a lot of stuff, a lot of my audience is male. That's not anything I'm particularly trying to do anything about. You know, it just like audiences are self-selecting. So I've been making bread and baking. I really enjoying it. So this is these are bloomers. It's if you may be familiar or not familiar with a chef on well, he's on a few different channels now as well, but he wasn't the Bake Off, is Paul Hollywood. So he did like a breads program years ago, and as it came up on my memories today that I was doing a bloomer 7 years ago, it must have been like 7 years ago. So this is the bloomer that I was doing yesterday. And then there was soda bread today. So that's it from the tin, and that's it just coming out there. It's nice. I haven't actually finished it yet. So this is the location I was at today. Now this has been shot with a Samyang that I haven't used in ages, so who knows if it's even in focus. We're going to find out. I'll do a quick edit on it anyway. So, right, so they're in, and really what I'm going to do here is let me just check the first one here to see if I did a bracket right at the beginning. I didn't do a bracket right at the beginning. This is still after messing up the still after messing up a little bit, so I'll have to look into that. Let me work backwards. So I got a multiple of 3. So I bracketed all of these. So if I go back to near the beginning here, I can't remember if I set to dark, medium, and light. If I've set it to dark, medium, light, that is the first one from that set. And if this is divisible by 3, which it is, that's right. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to go, I need to go into stacking, auto stack by capture time, 24 stacks, 33 oh yeah, because it's going to do the whole shoot actually. So I'm just going to leave it do that. And what it'll do is it will stack the images. Okay, why does it think that one is a 2 and a 3? Oh, they must have been pretty long exposures. Or, yeah, let me try that again. So, can we undo that? That undo the stacking? Yeah, I will. So I am going to redo that and just allow a longer time for that, because that's very short. Okay. Yeah, and 3, yeah, that's right, because, you know, 323 is a 69, which is what we're expecting. So what's that? That's the stacking is done there, and now I'm just going to select just those 23 for a second. I wonder what the quality is like going online. Nobody seems to be there anyway, so. Just going to shift click that end one, and now we're going to go to photo edit, or sorry, photo merge, and go HDR. And that was 22. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, because the first one is not one. Why is it 22? It should be 23. It can just be really weird sometimes. It decides that something's not a stack when it is. Okay, so it says 23 operations in progress. So we're just going to leave it to that. So most of the time we were chatting, and you know, actually some of the closer ones here are actually shot on the 18 to 55 Fuji. And if you don't know, I'm a Fuji X photographer in Ireland. Supposed to be a new version of the program coming along soon, but I have no details on that yet. So yeah, I'm baking bread. So this is some of the bread that I am baking. I'm not a food photographer, but it's really funny that everybody wants the recipe for this now because of the fact that, you know, the photos look fine. So, you know, in fact, I'm looking at that bread and thinking, you know, there's some of that bread still there. So yeah, that's going to be nice. Right, so they're working away. There's one of these as a HDR open up there. Now I don't think I did auto on this. I'm going to press D to get into develop. Now this might not even be in focus because of the fact that it was a manual lens, and I did set the focus on it, but the problem is that when you're moving around it can get knocked, and I wasn't checking it the whole time because I haven't used it in ages, so that kind of means you're not quite used to it as well. So there's a lot of foreground in this, and that's why I swapped to a different lens in one of the next shots. And so there's a new thing that I'm just going to talk about really quickly here on import. See the way classic Chrome is selected here? That is because if we go to preferences, it will let me. Hopefully this stuff is streaming okay, because what's happening there is pretty processor intensive. Okay, so you have this new raw defaults section here, right? And it can be set to Adobe default, or it can be set to camera settings. And I have it set to camera settings and use default specific to camera model. Now, I haven't actually selected the model, but it's going to do it for the Fuji stuff. And so what it does is it actually detects when I have used a simulation, because they use film simulations rather than picture styles. So that means that it knows that I use classic Chrome. So the camera just happens to be set to classic Chrome. Because if I was actually shooting landscapes, I'd be using Provia, or I would be using Velvia normally. Just because you get that kind of better look. Now, in this case, for the HDRs, I don't have it set up for. Oh, have I frozen? I think I've frozen. There we go. We're back. So next time, maybe not do something so processor intensive. Anyway, so I haven't done and all those stuff, but I would normally pull down the shadows or pull down the highlights, open up the shadows. This needs a bit of exposure, it was underexposed. I actually did it a bit brighter in the next shot. So we're getting a lot of flare from that lens now is the problem here. Bit of texture, clarity, and some dehaze. And then when you do dehaze, you generally have to push exposure. And I haven't even gone into vibrance and saturation because those controls do tend to give a lot of that. See, I've got some dirt on the lens there as well. Okay. So. Hey! Thanks, Richard. I need to remember to look at chat as well. You know, that's the whole thing with streaming. You forget what you're doing, you know, you have to realize that other people here as well. So see if any of these are coming in. How is the stream, by the way? Is it choppy or is it okay? Because I can't actually tell. I could if I bring it up on the iPad, what'll happen is it'll just end up meaning that I'm using even more bandwidth. So I'm not sure that I want to do that. So this is like a 5K iMac and 20 operations. It's going really slowly. So I assume I am eating tons of processor. I'm actually going to just bring up my audio. Can I bring? No, it's up full actually. Bring the microphone in a bit closer. Maybe the audio will be a bit louder. I don't want to be peaking, but at the same time I don't want it to be super quiet. Oh, it's blocking my face now. Yeah, so it's interesting streaming because it is completely different. You know, you get to make all the mistakes on camera rather than be able to chop them out. Yeah, so I mean, there's not much I can do on this end. Oh, that's okay. That's good. Thanks. Now, unfortunately, the whole, you know, it just doing HDRs takes time. So maybe I'll just go and edit some of the bread while that's happening. Although, you know, I don't want to edit the bread because it's making me hungry. There's not a whole lot that I would do with these normally, because the whole point of these is when you're shooting them is to try and get them as nice as possible. So if you're looking at their lighting wise, it's literally just the light is coming in from the back. It's the 8600 with the Ellen Chrome Deep, the silver with the diffuser, the 105. And then I just literally have white card coming in from this side here, just bouncing a bit of light back in. So the idea is to try and make this look like, you know, it's on the countertop with the window. Now it actually is on the countertop, but my window is miles away from the countertop. There's actually no windows in my kitchen, which is like a one large room with a sitting room. So it's just trying to create a sense of natural light, basically. So I'm just going to jump into develop here for a second. Like I said, there's very, very little that I would do with this normally. Like even here you can see that it's completely flat and it looks fine, and that's the whole point. You're trying to get it as right as possible in camera. That doesn't mean that we can't do stuff. One thing that I do find is that sometimes it can shoot a little cold with silver umbrellas, so I'd be tempted to warm it slightly just to try and give a hint more warmth to it, which I think makes the bread look even nicer, more crisp. Just see what texture does. No, texture is too much. Might leave a little bit in though. No, that makes it look like an old man's face. Let's not do that. No, I don't know. Vibrance is not going to make much difference, I don't think, because of the fact that these are kind of close enough to skin tones. What's the topic? Well, literally, I you know, bringing in the photos from today that I shot today. I'm going to try and edit some of them, but I can't get over how slow they are in the process of creating the HDRs. So maybe what I should have done is done my selections first and then just ran HDR on those ones, although just after dropping two of them in there. So like I was out with my friend and he was giving me new locations. The light was lovely when I went out, but by the time I got there it was just not so good. There's one or two of these that I do think I might want to try and edit, so I'm kind of waiting for those ones to come in, and they should be soon enough. Like, actually, you know what? It's kind of these ones here that I was kind of go and edit. They'll be coming up in a second, but this one here is kind of close enough. It'll give you a feel for it anyway, and we can always copy and paste the settings. Anyway, assuming they're in focus, because of the fact that, like I said, I was using a manual lens for this, and it did get moved somewhere. Like I said it, and generally when you set it, you know, it can be okay, but you know, and sometimes it just goes. So that actually looks like it's in focus anyway, so that's fine. So we're going to jump to develop anyway. And again, do the jump straight away to Velvia, so that way we have a little bit more punch and contrast in it before we do anything else. So we've got a full range of tones here, but it's still a little bit dark, so I'm actually going to boost the exposure straight off the bat. I'm not going to worry what's going on in the sky for a second here, because what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use a Grad Filter. Just going to pull that across here, and so where's my little twisty bit, and I'm going to kind of line it along the hill. It's got settings on it from before. I'm not going to worry about them. I'm going to double click on the word effect and that will reset them, and I'm just going to pull exposure down to darken that section there. And put a bit of highlights as well, actually, because, you know, darken that bit. So it's darkened the top of the castle here. So what we can do is we can actually come in with a brush, and I'm using the mouse there, so I'll see if I can find my pen. It's lost here somewhere. Yeah, which is typical of me. Like, I've got a lot of crap on the desk. That's why you can't see the desk on the camera. Normally when I'm doing the tutorial videos and the camera's kind of over this side here, it means I've got to clean the desk fully and stuff. Right, it's going to come in here and make sure that's set to brush here. And so when you hold down the Alt or Option key, then the brush turns into an erase brush. And we're just going to erase that off there. Should probably zoom in. So it's Command plus or minus, or Control plus or minus. Auto mask is on, so I should be able to just paint relatively roughly. Just want to avoid getting halos around the edges if I can. Okay. And the idea of this is going to be a black and white edit. So really, you know, I'm talking about the color there. Yeah, I shouldn't be worried about that at all. But it does change what goes on. And if you change white balance, it'll actually change what's going on with black and white. So I am going to grab, let me turn that off for a second there altogether. And zoom out. So I'm going to just go and into profile here, grab profile. And just click on black and white to go for a black and white, and we're just going to have a look. Black and white 17, right, we got here. So there's a whole load of these in here. So sometimes some are good for a start. Black and white 4 doesn't look too bad. I do like the ones I favorite, ones I do like. Just hover and have a look. I'm looking for higher contrast for this. So what's going on with I'm looking at the castle as well. It's kind of got a kind of a retro crushed blacks kind of feel. But I think I'm going to go for this one here. So there's a couple of things going on that I'm seeing here. So this is a little bit bright here still, and these are too dark. Okay, I also wanted kind of a vignette in there as well anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and close that and go for a brush. And double click on effect to get rid of that, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to just paint with the mask on. So I'm going to press O to see the mask. So just this kind of mid ground is just a little bit dark, so I just want to lighten it a little bit. I may need to come in. Oh, yeah. In answer to that question, I definitely need to. There's no may about it. So I need to go back over there. What I'll do is I'll actually just do a bigger erase brush and get rid of it altogether and redo that section. Although it might be okay. Okay, that's not so bad. It's kind of it. These are tedious things as well. So, but you know, they do make a difference in the shot. So, right. So press O to get rid of that again. And now what we're going to do is just bring up the exposure a little bit, just to lighten just that area without lightening around it. So, just kind of needs that a little bit. Right. So I mean, with most black and whites, you really do need way more contrast. So I'm just going to jump down to the tone curve here. Now I'm in the point curve. This is the parametric curve, but generally I'm in the point curve usually. All right, liking that there now. I still think I need to go and I'm going to here. I'm actually going to, because we've already done this particular one, I'm actually going to click duplicate there. Right, and that's brought that down. So now with this one here, got a massive halo along the edge here though, so I'm actually going to bring that down slightly there. Oh no, come down, come down, come down, and grab that brush again. sure my feather and floor up the whole way. Actually turn auto mask off for this middle section here. Doing something really weird there. I wonder if I double duplicate it and that's what's going on. No. So it's something to do with this one, is it? Oh, that might have got moved. That's what it is. Oh. Yeah. Alright, so I'm kind of liking what's going on there, but I think I need to boost a whole lot though. Right, so I'm going to use the radial tool next, and because we changed the settings after we created stuff, what happens is all the settings go back to the previous settings before you made change after you started. So if I made a change here and then started, when I go back, it would give me that look. Right, that's weird, it's after getting brighter. It's not my imagination, that got brighter a second ago. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just literally drag out my radial filter here. And you definitely want this to be the normal one, which is invert is turned off. So invert means it's on the outside. And I kind of want the castle there as well, so maybe not quite, it's just meant to be subtle, you know. Right, so let me just press Y, the Y key, for before and after. So yeah, that's happy enough with that. So a lot of these are nearly finished, so we can jump out and have a look at some of the other ones. I'm going to mark that with a 1 as well, just for now. I did another live stream on making selections, so the other image that I wanted to see was the one that I liked in here. There's the HDR, so I kind of moved the camera around a little bit so that they were like in line, and then I kind of moved it so that they were kind of on separate thirds. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to bring these up. Oh, that's not one. These are actually and so one of them is a vertical as well. So, oh no, I didn't select that one. So I actually do prefer these ones now. So now the only thing is the cast looks a bit skewed, even though I was using the digital viewfinder on this. Develop. So just going to make sure that we don't have auto sync accidentally turned on, although it wouldn't hurt in this case here now for some of the settings. But I'm going to go for a transform and see if that pulls up the lines. No, absolutely not. Don't you love it when it works? Yeah, no. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of a constrain crop and then just do a rotate. So if I go Command Option O, or which is Control Alt O, it'll bring up the grid, and I have them turned on. In your view options, you've got come on, loop overlay, so you got what you can show in there as well. So you hold down the Command key, then you're able to drag it. I'm just going to drag it here and just see if they look straight. They look way straighter, so that's fine. I'm just going to turn them off again because they get annoying. So same story as before, except I think I'm actually going to use a brush for this, just because the shape is a little bit, you know, a little bit weirder. Yeah, no worries. All right. It's going to work away. I'll probably post this anyway, so so I'm just going to pull down the exposure here on this. And I'm going to press the O key just so I can see the mask itself, to make sure that we are definitely not getting into too many areas we shouldn't be. And press the O key again to turn that off. And now I'm going to darken down even more. Because it's going to be a black and white, I think it doesn't matter if it's much darker anyway. So it gives it a bit more drama. So again, same story. I liked what we had before, so that was number 3 in the black and whites. So we just select that one again. And then grab our tone curve again. It's kind of making it a little bit dark there maybe. Oh, that's accidental, but I like it. Alright, I'm going to grab a radial filter, but this time I'm going to do something different. I'm actually using to brighten something. I'm just going to center it on the actual thing. That's on the outside at the moment, so I'm just going to click invert. So what you can do is, with radial filters, you can kind of use them to, you know, act as little kind of lights. So I'm actually lighting the castle here. So just be careful that's not going into the sky too much. Well, I'd love to say that I'm quite the night owl, but that's not what happened. So my sleeping pattern's been a bit messed up. I've been up super early in the morning lately, and then what happens is, like, come 9 o'clock I'm just wiped out, and I went to bed about 10:30, and then I woke up wide awake at something like 1:30, 1:45, wide awake. I was like, oh. So yeah, I said I'd get up, and I said, well, let me go through the images from earlier today, and I was like, sure, look, we need practice live streaming, and we may as well actually live stream them. So right, yeah, I just need to tighten that in a little bit. Just don't want it on the sky basically. Right, and so click new, because we're going to do a new radial filter, but this time it's going to be kind of for the outside, and we're going to darken it. So like invert here is turned off, so that way it's going to be on the outside. And now I think the whole image needs to get bumped up, because we're kind of darkening the whole image now. So just press the Y key again there, and let me do a shift tab to hide all the other bits, and the magic of lights out, which is LL, and then the radial tool. What's the radial tool? It's shift M, is it? Yeah, shift M. So yeah, I like where that's gone there. That's kind of nice. Happy for that. Maybe there's a little bit bright. I mean, the eye goes to bright things, so I mean, it's going to go to this rock and stuff like that. So what I might do is, you know, saying that I might darken down around that rock and increase it around. Yeah. So let me just go shift M again, and L and Y. So what I might do is just grab another radial filter here, just along the rock. It means I'll need to brighten this again, but that's okay. Okay, that's the one. That's what. Click new. Right. So go around the rock here. Now I'm not darkening the rock, but I'm going to darken outside the rock for a second here. Okay, not too much. And then come back to this one here and lighten this one even more to compensate for the fact that we've darkened down the other one, just to bring attention to it. I say that's actually fantastic. I'd love that. Where are you from? Are you, well, actually, no, you're not really supposed to put personal stuff up. Yeah, you know, just wondering if you were Irish with a name like that. Like, that's what I'm asking. And now you're going to tell me that I already know you, and you're like, oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, it's like literally like little spots of fill light. And you know what? I think that could be too much there on that even. I know it's only a quarter of a stop, but no, it does. It needs it. Okay, it does need it. All right. And then that one needs to come up a little bit more. Just it's a bit dark down here, you know. So maybe I'll go back to the other radial filter. No, that's not even in that section there. So maybe the whole image needs to come up then. Yeah, it's tough. You got to make these choices. That's good. Yeah, that's not bad. L, good old L. Shift M, hide the tool. F. So F is full screen. I'm just gonna bring it up in full screen and have a look at it. Now, considering the fact that the light was gone and the weather was a bit crap, that's actually pretty alright. You know, we weren't actually there for long. In fact, the cars are just behind the castle there. That's kind of why I'm down slightly low, kind of hiding the cars a little bit. Oh, Woodlawn! Oh, you know what? You said that the other day, and I completely forgot that. Yeah. The reason why I would remember the name Woodlawn in the first place is when I lived in Dublin and we were going to Galway, that, you know, the train would always stop in Woodlawn. This is long before it was expresses, you know, so it would always stop in Woodlawn. I had a couple of friends in Woodlawn, and one of them was Tony. Tony was the drummer with the big generator, but he had an accident, unfortunately, and lost his life. Incredible drummer. Right. So what else have we got in here? So that's kind of the one I like from there, and I'm actually going to mark that with just give it a 1 anyway. So it's got some kind of rating that makes it stand out. Nope, undo that. You've too many things selected there. 1. There we go. Good thing I caught that. And so this is Glenina Castle, and I'm told it's on Google Maps anyway. I did do some drone shots of it, so I do have some drone shots to look at from that. In fact, if I do go to folder and library, it should actually have the drone shots as well somewhere here. Yeah, there we go. Again, and these were done as HDR shots, but they're not set up particularly wide enough bracket range. But the good thing about this is because they were shot on the drone, and part of the reason why I shot them on the drone was, if we click on that little icon there, that's the pin. So that pin will actually open it inside of map. And so yeah, see, it's actually on the it's actually on Google Maps. So if people wanted to go and find it, they can. The road down for it is that's the road actually there. There's kind of a metal gate just there in the field, and you drive down. It's a single track road, and it is full of potholes. You don't need a 4x4 or anything, but you know, you just need to drive slow. So yeah, so it's nice. It's really nice. Thanks to Andreas for that, for bringing me to that. So back to the library. And the other place that he brought me, which I didn't bring the drone for because I was using the internal card on the drone, and I filled it, so I couldn't take any pictures. I did take one on the phone though. So this is a deserted village that's up in the Care Valley. So yeah, interesting. Oh yeah, and this evening we had a beautiful, beautiful sunset. So that's actually the sunset. Did I do the panel? Oh yeah, so that's the, I kind of did like a manual panel at the end. So that was just overlooking the bay, Galway Bay. So Hare Island and Rabbit Island and then Mutton Island. Okay, I'm shooting with a Mavic Air. That's for a big pano that it stitched itself internally. It's not. Oh, yeah, there it is. But the problem is that I was trying to stitch it in Lightroom, and it just wouldn't stitch. It's just too much dark parts. So now the thing about this is because I only had the wide lens on me, it was a bit hard to kind of get a composition. It's a bit weird. It's done this one weirdly. I think it's selected them weirdly here. Yeah, it's after selecting them weirdly. I didn't use the... Oh no, I'm wrong. That's actually the DNG. Alright, okay, that's actually the HDR. So kind of this weird set of walls, and just pulling the shape and trying to create this as the focal point. But I might have been too close to it. Yeah, I mean, like it was very windy and very, very cold up here. It doesn't look it, but it was bitter, bitter cold. So, you know what I could do here, right? So, what I could come in here and do is I could actually create something here. I'm just going to show you how to make a profile. the black. So actually we'll use a bit of dehaze in here. And you generally need to bring up exposure when you do dehaze. Anyway, right, so let's say we have that. We can Command S or Control S to save metadata file. Command or Control or to open it inside. Oh, sorry, to show the show where it is. There's all my internal backups and stuff for Minecraft. Boom, boom, boom. Right, it doesn't open it, has it? No, that didn't open it. Try that again. Oh, you know what? It's after opening it in the other window. That's what it is. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do is, so we do this and we double click on it. That'll open it in Photoshop. Yeah, it's so where this is, there's two ways along the Care Valley. It is between Fenor Beach and Ballyvaughan. So there's it's the Burren College of Art is there, and so at the main road, which kind of is a curve around to the left, there's two roads going off to the right, and the rightmost one goes up to the Burren College of Art, and then the left one is the one that leads you up to this. You just drive up for ages, and eventually you get to a spot where you can kind of see this walkway up the hill. It's kind of a Burren or a famine road, they call it. So the road's built in the famine to like basically the landlords are just basically paying so like people would have a job, So, oh great, lovely. I've got an error with the display driver. All right, we're not actually going to do that in here as well though. So if we come into presets here, and down the bottom you have this option here for a new preset, but if you hold down the Alt or Option key, when it brings it up, right, yeah, you told me that a minute ago. Just bring it over here. So what you can do here is that you can basically create a new profile from this. Now we've got all of the stuff we've done profiles. We use tone curve on this one. Is it going to let us? No, it doesn't think we've done that, so it's not letting us. So what are we going to call this? We're just going to call it 17 in there, so we're just going to call it 018. Okay, and that will create a new profile. Now you can't actually see the profile until you restart Lightroom though. If Lightroom wants to come back to me. Yeah, no, I know, you've told me. That's annoying though. So we're going to have to deal with that obviously. Oh, I see what's going on. My picker has jumped to a different screen. So trying to change applications, couldn't see it coming up. So so LR relaunch. That is a script from the Photo Geek, and it just lets you restart really quickly. The Photo Geek. Matt Dawson is his guy's name. Just gonna see if that's still online. The Photo Geek. And then Lightroom restart. So that's going to shut down, and we'll come back. The reason why I'm shutting it down is just so that it reloads the presets folder, and that way it will have the profile there, and we'll have a look at it on a different image. When it eventually does it. The Photo Geek. Yeah. That is the photogeek.com as well. So I'll pull this out. So you always get this sometimes with Loop Deck 2 where it takes ages to shut down. Ha! Look, I want to restart short cooking. I totally forgot that this was me giving out when I was doing any web development stuff, when I was creating galleries for Lightroom. When you were testing them, you have to restart Lightroom every time. It just got tedious restarting the whole time. So he made a script that did it as well. I've totally forgot that. But it's really handy just for restarting Lightroom. Normally it's much quicker than this. There's obviously an issue with the plugin shutting down there. So it's the photogeek.com. How I found it there was I just literally googled the Photo Geek Lightroom restart and it came up. Now, need to move stuff out of the way because I can't see chat. Even though there's only you in there. Come on. Oh, don't think I have to force quit this. This sometimes happens where it just needs to be force quit and it's really annoying. It says shutdown finished, so you know, why is it doing this? You gotta love stuff like this when it happens in the live stream as well. Come on. Give me a second here. I'm going to have to restart it. So I'm just going to bring up my pretty face while I do this. So shout at me if I forget to change over. Force quit. The main problem, the reason I'm doing this is because sometimes when you restart, it brings up stuff and there may be stuff that's not appropriate for YouTube showing up. The video is marked not for kids anyway, but I didn't put in an age restriction on it, so if something should show up that really is not... Alright, there we go, it's opening now. It's not appropriate, it would be an issue with the channel, and I don't want that. No photo selected. So yeah, I'll be with you again in 2 seconds. Nearly there. Fortunately, it did automatically restart because it was in the middle of the script, so I didn't have to go look for it. Oh, it's actually open on the right image. Even better. So let me... Oh, yeah, that's silly, Sean. Move yourself off there. OBS did the joys. Okay, so let me jump. We're here. Right, so jump to the grid for a second. Oh, OBS is still selected. G for grid. And we're literally just going to select the next set here. So we're just going to select this image here. D for develop. And so this will show up. I didn't give it a folder, so it's just going to be in user profiles. Okay. So there we go. So that's how you create a profile, basically. Profiles are obviously super handy as well, because literally, right, when you create a profile like this, straight away it's done. Now it does have a slider, so you can make it less intense or more intense. The problem is, if you make it less intense from a black and white, and you haven't started from like the Adobe monochrome profile, it will go back to color. Right. But of course then you can also make it more intense the other way as well. So it'll enhance the stuff you've done even more. So yeah, that's profiles. So basically I've edited a couple of shots from today and showing some of the little workflow and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty much about it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I really like this image here. And I think when I put a video thumbnail on it, though, we will probably have to do something a bit wider, though, even though I like those vertical shots. So I might just have a quick look. There is this one here. D for develop, and let's see how it looks with the with my own profile from a minute ago. That's not bad. Q and T for toolbar and visualize spots. That's a bit too messy to actually see them even properly. Look, that one's definitely there. Let me just bring this down a little bit. That's one there. And it looks like one up there. I'll just have a look at chat in 2 seconds now. I can see that you've got something come up there, but OBS is actually blocking it there at the moment. You can, for slowing down, the thing to do is to go in and optimize. I'll just show you what that command is in a second. So that is in File and Optimize Catalog. That can help. But there's all sorts of stuff like memory and what drives you're using for the files and stuff like that, for file access and stuff like that. Like my catalog is massive. So if we just look up here, we can see that like I've essentially got 500,000 images in there. So, and it's reasonable, you know, it's acceptable. Yeah, thanks. I think that, like, for me, even like, I mean, like I'm doing this stuff a lot, so I know a lot because I'm using stuff and like always playing with the new features and stuff like that. But I don't know everything. I mean, so if I go to like a 2-hour class and I learn one thing from that class, I mean, even though I've been there for 2 hours, it's still valuable, you know, from learning something. So I think there's always something to learn. Like there was even, now it wasn't his idea originally, and he even says that in the video, but he doesn't know who it came from. But there was a Surge from Many thing, how to do quick dodge and burn, fake dodge and burn using range mask and using luminosity. That was very, very good and really, really interesting, and I'm going to play with that a little bit more. So yeah, like that's, you know, but like he said, he didn't find that himself as well. So right, you've not used the new profiles much. Well, they're actually really, really worth having, especially some of the more creative ones, because the creative ones come with that slider and you can basically make it less or make it more. So it's almost like having a preset that you can fade, which is fantastic. Oh, the video quality just dropped there a little bit. So let me just do a very super quick edit on this one here. So we're going to do a darken down. We make sure we've got auto mask on. Our feather is up so that way we can just paint the sky, and it's going to be more. It needs to be more than that though. It's also half a stop. Alright, it definitely needs to be more than that. Well, a little bit more than half a stop, but it needs to be way more than that. Oh, let's not put up the contrast in the sky. Pull the exposure down and maybe pull down a bit of highlights as well. Nice bit of mood. Click new because we're brushing, and again I'm just gonna brush down here. Let's darken this bottom section here. So we're doing like a manual vignette by painting it this way. Okay, grab our radial tool there for a second. Double click effect, bump it up. Invert. So we're doing a little light on the castle. And a bit brighter. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to that brush. Oh no, sorry. Go back to the brush tool. And I'm actually going to select that one we already have. So where's the pin? Oh, here. Oh. Just so we can see where that mask is now for a second. Oh, that's not that one. Oh, I can see that we actually missed a bit there with that one. So yeah, that's the auto mask, is just hiding those kind of brighter areas. And now where is the other one? I can't actually see the pin. Where's the pin gone? Oh, here it is. Yeah, because remember we were talking before about the, you know, I want to kind of those that rock and the castle is kind of the main focus area, so just darken around them for a little bit. I may need to pull it back a little bit, we will see in a second. So press O again to hide the mask. That's not bad. Yeah, it's close enough. It's a bit weird over here though. So let me do that. Actually pull back the flow a small bit so I'm not pulling back quite as much. I want some of it there. Oh, that didn't make much difference, to be honest. Just take it off there altogether. Alright. So I'm happy for that anyway. So I'll probably use that one for a thumbnail. I'll create a thumbnail and put it up. Right, look, thanks for joining me anyway. And I mean, the streaming here it's an opportunity for me to get content up there as well. And, you know, if people have specific things they'd like me to talk about, let's do that. Let me just jump here. I'm obviously only learning how to use the software and stuff like that. So I've got to get into the habit of looking at the camera as well when I'm talking, rather than looking a little bit over there for the actual preview so I can see what's going on. I know there's a little bit of delay as well. So I'll just hang on a second if there's any final questions. Nothing in chat? No? Yeah, so I'm going to try to do at least one of these a week if I can. Sometimes it'll be late like this, but I think I need to figure out a schedule stuff and then, like, you know, shoot stuff for it and stuff like that. So, Anthony, how are you? Very late in the live stream. Yeah, I'm literally finishing. So I've been on for how long? An hour or so? Is there any way to see this? I know in some of the streams that I watch when I'm watching gamers that they have a time that comes up. But I've literally no idea how long I've been doing this for. Oh, wait there. Now if I come up here and bring up this screen here, hang on. In the background, does it tell me? Oh, 51 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, like Australia, wow. So it's like mid-afternoon or something there then. Anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, no worries. All right. And yeah, and like I've said, somebody in the last one was making the comment that it was great to see me back. I mean, it's 6 months now. So it just kind of, obviously you're getting used to it completely. Like in the time when my wife had cancer, it was obviously a completely new normal dealing with that situation. But now that she's passed, that's a whole new normal again. And we're making the most of it. It's kind of funny with the social isolation thing because it's literally just me and my son doing stuff the whole time. And ironically enough, we haven't been playing Minecraft on the same server for the last week or so because I've just been up the wall trying to get stuff done. And so, yeah, but it'll be back to Minecraft. And it's actually, yeah, do watch again later. So I might even start streaming some of the Minecraft stuff on Twitch as well because that's, you know, because I'm playing anyway, so I may well actually just stream it. Yeah, hopefully back with another one of these next week anyway, folks. If you did like what you see there and you got something, please do subscribe. If there's things you think I could do to improve the streaming process, like how this looks and stuff like that, and whatever stuff like that, because I'm literally, this is the second one I've done properly here, and even at that, it was also kind of spur of the moment like the first one. So do leave that stuff in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course give it a like I'm saying. So, and do, you know, if you like what's in it, pass it on to other people, folks. Thanks for taking time to watch this. I will see you in the next one.